I'm feeling good, I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, he changed my life and now I'm finally free. Don't have to carry no more weight up on my shoulders, now I'm finally free. Finally, oh yeah. So many things in life I had to give up on. But my God didn't give up on me. No, he didn't. He gave me another chance. Hey, I was blind, but now I see. Oh yeah. I finally gave my life to Christ and now I'm finally free. Anything I need, my God provides for me. I just want to thank you, God, for loving me, taking care of me and my family. I had to clean up when I messed up. Started my life over again. Now I'm finally free. I'm feeling good, I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, he changed my life and now I'm finally free. Don't have to carry no more weight up on my shoulders, now I'm finally free. Finally, oh yeah. People talk that what they do and what they say can't stop my moves. Let me say a thing or two about what God can do for you. I know he did it for me, I know that he'll do it for you. Because I am living proof of what my God can do for you. People change, but my God won't change. I weather the storm with a smile on my face. Singing hallelujah is the higher praise. Lord, I want to thank you for another year. The angels in heaven done shine my name. Gave my life to Christ and now I'm finally free. Anything I need, my God provides for me. I just want to thank you, God, for loving me, taking care of me and my family. He took the shackles off my feet, now I can dance and now I'm finally free. Finally free. This was for the people in the world who believe in Jesus. Believe in Jesus. He took the shackles off my feet, now I can dance and now I'm finally free. I'm finally free. This was for the people in the world who believe in Jesus. I'm feeling good, I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, he changed my life and now I'm finally free. Don't have to carry no.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the Morning. It's your man Wise. I'm your humble host, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. As you can see, I have my America Forged shirt on. Shout out to my guy Kenny over at pistyles.store, where I got this shirt from. So shout out to him. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. It is Thursday, Friday Eve. For those of you guys that got one more day of work this week, the weekend is here. These weeks are flying by. It is crazy. And 100% here for it. I think I mentioned this yesterday, and I'm going to mention it again today for those that were not here yesterday. Tomorrow there will be no live show in the morning. There will be no live show at all tomorrow morning. Lord willing, we'll be back at this thing Monday morning. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be at this thing Monday morning, Lord willing. We're gonna get an early start on the weekend. Early start on the weekend, man. Shout out to all my ARP family members. Shout out to you all. Shout out to the Blues, Zephyr K9, B, Brett Montgomery, who else? Renee Suzanne, Coaster. Shout out to you all, man, for keeping things peaceful in the chat and keeping things flowing and making sure that folks are hitting that like button for me. That's all I ask for you guys. Make sure you hit that like button for me. Price of admission, hit the like. That's all I ask. Shout out to my guy PK Krillin in the building early. Says good morning, Wise and ARP family. I'm definitely not used to seeing this at 5:30 a.m. Peace and love. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are a mess. Goodness gracious. I did put this out yesterday. The stream was scheduled yesterday because I know this, and I think I'm gonna try to do my best to start scheduling them, just have them already out for all 5 days. Try to have it already planned and already out there. It's just one less thing that I have to do on a day-to-day basis to get ready for the show. Shout out to Kevin Caldwell. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. He says, good morning. Yes, this is very early. Shout out to my guy, Scott Young out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Appreciate you pulling up. JJ O'Hara, Lori Oddison. What up, Redefine Queen? Donald Lovejoy. Appreciate you pulling up out of Colorado. Jane Fecto, Las Vegas in the building. What up, Junior Ray? How you doing this morning? Good morning. And you know what? Let me go ahead and mention that. This weekend is Mother's Day. And I want to make sure that I show love to all the mothers out there that watch the channel, that support what we do over here at ARP. Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you all. Now, this year Mother's Day, this year's Mother's Day is opposite. Okay, this year, if you are a mom, your job is to do something special for the people that call you mom. That's your job this year. We're changing it up. It's opposite day. All right. Shout out to Junior Rado. Appreciate you reminding me of that. What up, Joseph Orsini? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Marie Noose out of Georgia? Ed Mar, Mississippi in the building. Shout out to you, brother. What up, Coaster? What up, Delinda House? What up, William Walker Grimsworth? That's my guy, Playboy Billy. He is going to change his name. Playboy Billy. He's been named. Shout out to Shelby Dodd. What up, Soul Driver? How you doing this morning? Shelby Dodd, yes. Jesus is King. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the chat. What up, Toy Mafia? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Amber Young, Billboard Builds, Elijah Burnett. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Cynthia Marilla? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Big Job 4? Out there working. That he's at sitting here at Milwaukee County Airport, Haven Parks, and the edge of the runway. Have a blessed day, man. Be safe out there, brother. What up, Fidel? How you doing this morning? San Antonio in the building. The 7th largest city in the USA. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Vanita Whitehead? Good morning. What up, Eric Smith? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Thea Flies High. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Coaster? Yep. Tell them make sure they hit that like button for me, please. Billy W. How you doing this morning? What up, Rich Roper? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words as well. Shout out to Crystal Beyond Labels. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Hope all is well with you. What up, Diane? How's it going? Pittsburgh in the building. Shout out to you. What up, LJ Taylor? How's it going this morning? Amber Young. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, Mark? How you doing this morning? Oh, got my guy, Kenny G, PIStyle.store in the building. Shout out to you. What up, Baby Lungs? How's it going? RJ Hudson. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Shout out to Tony Borg. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Mr. Largy? How's it going this morning? Cheshire Insight out of Ireland in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. What up, Tomcat? How's it going? New York in the house. What's going on? Lisa Barnum says Mother's Day is every day. Oh, you're saying mom doing things for everybody else is every day. You may be right. My wife might actually agree with you on that. My mother-in-law tends to think that my wife spoils me too much, but I disagree with that. And my sister thinks the same thing. And so does my mom. I always tell them, man, don't hate on me. Don't hate on me. I take care of my wife and she takes care of me. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate her for doing that. What up, Dion? How you doing this morning? Hope all is well with you. Got Asar or Orion. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Appreciate you pulling up. Pine Bluff, Arkansas in the building. What up, Scott 8T8? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Insanity's darling, Richmond, Virginia in the house. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What up, Laura Stahl? Appreciate you pulling up this morning from the shore. I'm assuming that's the Jersey Shore. Those y'all are the only people that I know that call the shore the shore. The coastline, more or less, the shore. What up, Kathleen? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. We got Corrine Easley. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. What up, Anita? How's it going this morning? Out of Arizona. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning. What up, Tammy Beecher? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. My little Coburn. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, James Brown? I feel good. Thank you very much. The red part of Oregon. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What up, LT? How's it going this morning? Shout out to you. What up, Meme New King? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. I figured I'd get a rise out of you guys. I'm definitely going to tell my wife that today. Like, hey, I know it's Mother's Day this weekend, but your job is to take care of me on Mother's Day. That's your job. I'm sure I'm gonna get all kind of side eyes off of that one. I feel like I do that every day. Kenny G, thank you. You're absolutely right, man. Not spoiled enough. Exactly. I don't always get my way. I don't always get my way. What up, Queen Bees? Art Hive. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Oh, Tammy Beecher's out of Eastern Shore, Maryland. Okay, I got you. Eastern Shore. Okay. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Fellow Marylander, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. What up, Deborah Gomez? Appreciate you pulling up. What up, C. Berkey? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Thank you very much. We're going to get the show started, man. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Like I said, there will not be a live show tomorrow. We're taking a early weekend, planning a charity golf event tomorrow in celebration and in support of a fallen officer down in South Carolina. So I'm looking forward to that, hanging out with some friends and supporting a good cause. What's up, Regina? How you doing this morning, sister? Long time no see. I don't think I haven't seen you in a little bit, but I hope all is well with you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. But yeah, hey, we're gonna put a little pressure on William Walker Grimsworth to change his name. Playboy Billy Grimsworth. I actually like that. That's it right there. Playboy Billy Grimsworth. We got to change it. We're gonna put a little pressure on him to change his name. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and so looking forward to a little vacay and a little rest and relaxation, and an opportunity to get out on the golf course, and definitely, obviously, supporting a good cause as well. Shout out to Laura Stahl, new ARP family member. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. God bless you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Hey, William Walker Grimsworth. I am looking forward to seeing you. I will know exactly who it is when I see Playboy Billy Grimsworth. When I see that in the chat next week, I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to is it Your Z Fight for Your Right out of Europe. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning, man. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me, man. We got 140 people in the building. Please make sure you hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. That is the only cost of admission. Hit the like button, and if you could share this somewhere with someone that needs to see this or that needs to hear this type of information, man, or for somebody that just want to come hang out, with one of the livest and one of the nicest chats, out there. I would love for that to happen. Super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Anybody that joins the ARP family, it will stop the show. They will be acknowledged. Anybody that joins or gifts the ARP family membership to someone, that will stop the show and that will be acknowledged as well. Shout out to you all. What's going on, Free Black Conservative? Thank you very much. And thank you, Dion. Hey, I got this shirt. This is from Kenny G at PIstyle.store. That's where I got the shirt from. America Forged. I am definitely that. So, if y'all want other gear like this, go check out Kenny G's store, man. PIstyle.store. Go check him out over there, man. Got some pretty dope stuff. I got a couple t-shirts from him. RJ Hudson says, Wise, don't say that to your wife that Mother's Day is take care of you. You might end uh nah. My wife loves me. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. What up, Michael Crosby? Says, good morning, bro. Finally caught you live. Always spread knowledge. Thank you very much, man. If this is your first time, man, I appreciate you pulling up. And hey, y'all make sure y'all show my guy, Michael Crosby, some love in the chat, pulling up this morning. Shout out to him. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, man. We're going to get the show started, man. Like I said, Super Chats will stop the show. Super Thanks will stop the show as well. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Shout out to Christy, Chi-Town in the building. It's one of Chi-Town's finest. Says, good morning, everyone. Wise, thank you for all you do. And we do have the best chat group ever. I would agree with that. It's one of the livest chats. And y'all are some really, really nice people, man. Some good God-fearing, just really good people and nice people, man. I definitely appreciate you guys. And, definitely appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate the support. Thank you, Christy, very much. Definitely appreciate that, man. Let's get the show kicked off, man. Let's get it going. Again, if you have a question, if anything like that, and I think today, I got some time today, so we probably will open it up and allow some folks to call in. Hopefully, we'll get Crystal to call in today, and we'll get a few other people. I know Coaster likes to call in from time to time. Some of y'all scared. I know Hunter, got the new gig today, so shout out to Hunter. I know he started his new gig this week, man, so he hadn't really been able to be a part of this thing, this morning. But shout out to him for starting a new gig. There's a lot of people starting new gigs. If I'm not mistaken, back in April, there was over 266,000 new positions created here in the United States of America, which is up from March's number, which is awesome. Shout out to Beach Comber Noni, also I guess known as Alyssa. Shout out to her as well. Looks like first live. Y'all make sure y'all show her some love in the chat as well. Make sure y'all show Beach Comber Noni some love in the chat as well. First time pulling up this morning for a live stream. Shout out to her as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate you pulling up this morning as well. But let's get the show popping. All right.
Deficits constitute a national emergency?
The hollowing out of the U.S.
No, just yes or no.
Class,
yes or no. Yes or no.
It's a national emergency, sir.
It does. It does. You're telling me trade deficits equals a national or creates
Persistent and prolonged.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you know also, sir, that for the last 4 decades, we've had trade deficits in the United States of America, and nobody said it was an emergency? Democratic and Republican presidents? You know what that says to me? That it's not an emergency because it hasn't been for 4 decades. It says to me that we should bring tariffs back to the United States Congress so that we can make that determination as the Constitution has said and not try to go around Congress. That's just unbelievable to me. Let me ask.
All righty, here we go. So, busy day on Capitol Hill yesterday. You guys know it. Busy day on Capitol Hill yesterday with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who sat down in front of the House Financial Services Committee to testify about the Trump administration's economic agenda. Bessent, he was out there yesterday to defend the White House's budget priorities and tackle some of the big issues like trade deficits, reciprocal tariffs, and the overall economic outlook, while also laying out how the administration plans to fix what they call decades of one-sided trade relationships. He didn't hold back, pushing for strategic tariffs as a way to pressure foreign competitors and protect American industries, something Trump has been laser focused on since day one. But the Democrats in the room were not having it. And things got heated extremely fast. One moment that really stood out was when Representative Gregory Meeks from New York tried to downplay the whole trade deficit issue, saying that it's not that big of a deal because we've had them for decades. You could practically hear Besnet's his eyes roll in the back of his head while Meeks went on, completely missing the point that those decades of imbalance have drained trillions of dollars from our economy, $6.7 trillion since 2019 alone. And according to some estimates, this is just crazy when you start talking about almost $7 trillion being drained out of our economy. And that was just one exchange. But I want you guys to see the next one. I want you guys to check out this one, which involves none other than your favorite representative, Maxine Waters. This lady, she's a kooky character if there isn't one out there. Goodness gracious. But let's listen to what she had to say about this.
Know the level, type, or nature of the clearances and security training required for individuals to access the information held in the computers of Treasury, IRS, or CFPB?
Yes, I do, and I think we would have a disagreement over the definition of the word unfettered.
Mr. Secretary, did all the individuals working with Doge who were given access to Treasury's and CFPB's computer databases receive all of the required clearances and security training before they were granted access?
Again, they were granted read-only access at Treasury. There were two.
So let me just say,
Doge employees.
please, you can't filibuster here. This is not the filibuster playground. And so what you did was you let these strangers into our Treasury with access to all of the data, all of the personnel information, and you just opened the door. Why'd you do that?
No, ma'am. They were Treasury employees.
Oh, are you saying today in front of this committee that all of them were Treasury employees, that the 25-year-old who's being identified, who worked for Elon Musk, was allowed into the Treasury? Was that person there?
He was a Treasury employee, as was Tom Kraus, the senior person on the Doge team. There were only two people.
There were Doge employees also.
Sorry?
Do you know, were you aware that there were Doge employees coming into our Treasury getting all of our personal information?
Well, ma'am, there is no such thing as a Doge employee. There were Treasury employees.
I tend to disagree with you based on the information I have.
So Maxine Waters is all up in arms, trying to grill, Besnet about the Doge, about Doge supposedly taking over the Treasury Department, claiming it's some kind of illegal power grab. She even brought up how Doge's team, has been given access to Treasury data to identify inefficiencies, acting like it's a scandal that a group tasked with saving taxpayer money might actually need to, look at the numbers. You can't make this stuff up, man. Now, Maxine Waters, we need term limits, man. She's sitting up there. She sounds old. She sounds decrepit. Like, seriously. We need term limits, man. Seriously, we do. Maxine Waters doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And this exchange, it proved it. It proved it. Shout out to Crystal Beyond Labels with the $19.99 super chat. She says, just because they have been doing wrong for, hate when that happens. Just because they have been doing wrong for 4 decades, why should we continue to be used by other countries? These people in Congress are ignorant. Time for them to go, especially crooked Maxine, hit dog holler. Shout out to you. Thank you very much, Crystal Beyond Labels. Appreciate that. And I appreciate the super chat. And you're absolutely right. These people are okay with us continuing to get a bad deal because they don't actually care about our nation. I mean, we just watched the previous administration do everything that they could to fast track us into bankruptcy. We just got a chance to see and witness the previous administration. You see what's going on in California. What has been going on in California has now been brought to Maryland. You're going to start to see blue districts that implement these policies, blue states, blue districts, blue counties, blue cities that implement these policies that don't work, you're going to start to see them basically go bankrupt. It's crazy. But Maxine Waters, she's been in Congress for decades. She's been in Congress for decades, but she's acting like she doesn't understand the basic concept of oversight and reform. Doge isn't taking over the Treasury. It's helping to identify waste, some of the fraud and mismanagement of funds, something that the federal government desperately needs after years of bloated spending and under people like her. But instead of engaging with the facts, she's out here peddling fear and misinformation. And then you have Ayanna Pressley. If you're from Massachusetts, you got to take an L with Ayanna Pressley. Ayanna Pressley is the individual who decided to take this hearing to a whole nother level of absurdity, going off on some tangent about car seats, claiming that, it's the law of the land and how costs will go up because of tariffs on China. These people are ridiculous, to say the least. Ridiculous is being nice. It really is. These are people that do not care about this country. They don't.
From Democrats publicly, and I'm certain you've heard from Republicans privately, that this administration's reckless and chaotic tariff policy is wreaking havoc on our economy. Rather than delivering stability for our country, this Trump tariff tantrum has been inconsistent, counterproductive, and disconnected from reality. In my district, the Massachusetts 7th, I'm hearing it from everyone. Small business owners are reeling from the unpredictable on-again, off-again tariffs. They're holding back on expansion, delaying hiring, and bracing for the impact. Local and state officials are telling me about the effect tariffs will have on our state budget. Simultaneously, Massachusetts will see energy bills increase while revenue from tourism will decrease. But I want to focus on the constituent outreach that I've received.
LJ Taylor, Lord have mercy. And just so you guys know, Ayanna Pressley, she rocks a bald head because, if I'm not mistaken, she suffers from alopecia. So that's why she doesn't have hair. She used to wear wigs and stuff like that. She decided that she's no longer going to, rock the wig. She's just going to embrace, the bald head. So, I don't have any issues, with her, on that. I have issues with her policies. I have issues with how reckless she is. But those things, she can't do much about that. But LJ Taylor, you are a mess. Linebacker energy.
From everyday families who are just fighting to make ends meet. Yes or no? Mr. Secretary, do you know what a car seat is?
I have 2 children, yes.
I figured as much. It's correct, you and your husband have 2 children. So I'm sure you know that car seats are absolutely essential for families when traveling with babies and toddlers to school, to worship, to doctor's appointments, just everyday living. But not only are car seats essential, they are the law of the land. It's the law of the land in 50 states. So there's no getting around that. Mr. Secretary, what's your estimate of how many babies are born in the United States each year?
I would guess 2 to 3 million.
Well, while the number fluctuates, there have consistently been more than 3.5 million babies born in the United States. That means millions of families in this country are doing what? Buying a car seat. Because it's essential and it is the law of the land in all 50 states. But now that cost is going up because Trump has announced up to 145% tariffs on Chinese imported products. Approximately 9 out of every 10 car seats in the U.S. come from China. That's a steep cost. Steep cost hike for families all over the country. The price is up in Republican districts and in Democratic districts. And it's not just the car seats that are impacted. We're talking about strollers, cribs, high chairs. No family is exempt from the harm of these Trump tariffs on essential baby products. But don't just take my word for it. Mr. Chair, I would like to enter into the record A Yahoo Finance article from May 2025 entitled First Year Baby Expenses Already Top $20,000 and Tariffs Are Adding to the Bill as China Dominates Key Imports.
Without objection.
Look, I support improving manufacturing in America, but that is not going into effect overnight like these tariffs are. There needs to be an exemption to help America's families. Trump has used his power for tariff exemptions on thermoplastics, semiconductors, but what about baby products? Mr. Secretary, do you support an exemption to tariffs on items that parents need to care for their kids? Yes or no?
Congressman, what you're referring to are
yes or no?
What you're referring to are
I'm reclaiming my time because I don't want you to filibuster and give me some macroeconomic answer. Families at home are hurting, and so just give me a direct answer.
I am going to agree with you that
so yes, you do support an exemption on tariffs for products that are essential for families for their babies.
Exemptions on E4 items. Which
I'm sorry, I have to reclaim my time. I'm reclaiming my time. I am, Mr. Chair, I am reclaiming my time. Give me my time back. I'm reclaiming my time. I just want a simple yes or no. Do you support an exemption to tariffs on items that parents need to care for their kids? Because you all claim you're pro-family. I cannot hear the words you say because I see the things that you do every day. So clear it up. Yes.
Oh yeah, she is. She's not a nice person, to say the least. And I actually don't mind her with the bald head. But somebody did mention, they took the words right out of my mouth. It's when she starts to talk, you can see the nastiness, and that's what makes her. That's what makes her ugly. It's the nastiness about her. She's not a nice person, to say the least. Extremely disrespectful. And every time we have these hearings, they ask their questions. They ask a very long-winded question that really needs to be flushed out in the answer, yet they'll never let the people actually answer the questions. This is who they are, and this is what they do. People like her, they love to hear themselves talk. Reclaiming my time. So you ask this long-winded question, and you expect a simple answer. It just doesn't make sense. Now I have to ask, are we here to listen to the Treasury Secretary talk about their economic plan, or are we here to listen to someone like Ayanna Pressley yell over them? Which one is it? And somebody had mentioned husband for Scott Besnett. Yes, he's a gay man. He has a husband. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, here. But he was selected by President Trump, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's the first gay male or gay man in that role. Whatever. But let's talk about. Let's get real fast, and let's talk about the trade war between the United States and China. Because if you watch the mainstream liberal networks, let's call them we'll call them MSCCP for short. And for those of you guys that don't know what MSCCP means, it stands for Mainstream Chinese Communist Party for short. That's MSCCP. You think that China is steamrolling us, and Trump has no leverage. But here's the reality. Both sides are feeling the pain, but China, they're hurting a whole lot worse than we are. Their economy is sputtering right now, and they're even stopping, publication of key data, everything from land sale numbers to unemployment rates to soybean output and business confidence. If you can't see the stats that you claim, everything's rosy, if you can't see the stats, that lets you know that they're hiding. They got factories closing, unemployment is rising, deflation fears are mounting, and they're slashing interest rates to try to prop things up. So it's no surprise that the U.S. and Chinese officials are supposed to meet soon. It's no surprise. According to some reports, they're supposed to meet soon to kick off trade talks. Now, this is behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. Now, I would assume that on the low, they've probably already been talking. They've already been in conversation. They've already been in negotiation for weeks. But publicly, both sides need to save face. China wants to look strong for its own people. And to the liberal U.S. media, that covers for them. China wants to look strong for their own people. Xi has come out there and basically told his people that we have the United States on the ropes. So he's not really in a position to come out and say, you know what, we got to go talk to these people. Because he had been telling his people for a long time that they got this under control. They got us. They got the United States under their thumb. So Xi is in a position where he really can't come out and say, hey, man, but what we also won't see, is the people of China really out there talking like that because they're not allowed to do so. It's not like the United States of America where if you don't like something, you can get on whatever social media platform and say what you want to say. Over there, they'll hide you. They'll hide you over there in China. So they don't have the ability for information to come out as freely as it can and does here in the United States. But President Trump, he doesn't have to lift all tariffs to bring these people to the table. He just needs to show that he's willing to negotiate on key goods and services. And maybe, if they let him actually talk, Scott Bessent, that is, they understand what the play is. But they won't, because they don't want the American people to really understand what's going on. They don't want that. They don't want to listen to what Scott Bessent has to say. They don't want that information on the record, and they don't want the American people to hear the truth of the game plan. They're not interested in that. So they'll ask a question, and then when he goes to try to answer, you'll get these endless, reclaiming my time calls and people refusing to let him finish a single sentence and filibuster style hijinks in a committee room. Not the public, it's not the public deliberation our founders intended this to be. This isn't what it was supposed to be like. It wasn't about informing Americans. It was political theater designed to undermine Trump's negotiating position with our trading partners. Simple as that. These people are anti-America. How do you get up here and fight tooth and nail to make sure that we don't get a good deal with our quote-unquote allies? And to be honest with you, when you got friends robbing you the way, Canada, all these European nations, China, when you got people that are supposed to be your friend or supposed to be your ally robbing you like that, who needs enemies? Seriously, who needs enemies when your quote unquote friends or allies are robbing you every time they come to your house? Who needs enemies? And all of Presley's, whining about how tariffs might raise the cost of a car seat. Come on, man. Come on. We got a lot of car seats over here at this point now. Heck, I'm sure some of you guys have some old car seats that could be refurbished and gifted to somebody. Here's the reality, man. The administration is actively looking into exemptions for certain goods, like baby products. If the tariffs cause too much strain on American families, they're looking for some exemptions there. But I'm one of those kind of people. Hey, man, I'm sure we've had enough kids. There's enough people that got, car seats and things of that nature at the house. Find somebody that needs one and give it to them. We got to do everything that we can to make sure that we get a good deal. Simple as that. And the people that are fighting against us getting a good deal, those are the people that need to be primary, and they need to be ousted out of Congress and out of the Senate. Simple as that. If you are against us getting a good deal when it comes to doing business with our allies, you need to go. It makes me think that you are on the take from one of these countries. Can we look into Ayanna Pressley's finances? Would we find a Chinese company dumping money into her coffers? Is that why she's willing to fight for these people so hard? Seriously. Last time I checked, the way that President Trump is going about this, it's a pretty smart and balanced approach. The goal is pretty simple. Hit China where it hurts to protect our economy, but make sure we're not squeezing our own people too much in the process. Makes sense to me. Makes complete sense to me. The goal is to hit China where it hurts to protect our economy and our future economy, but make sure we are not squeezing our own people in the process too much. Now, we're pretty, we can handle a lot as Americans. We're not these some weak, soft people. We're spoiled. We live a good life over here, and a lot of us are extremely spoiled, but we can tighten the belt loop if need be. We're resilient as all get out when you back us in the corner and push us into a position where we gotta be. We can do it. We can do it. We've all done it. We've all had to do it. Besnett, Trump, that administration, I believe that they know what they're doing. I believe they do. Besnett, he's been clear that the goal is to fix these one-sided trade relationships. That is the goal. Not to make America's life harder, but to make things fair. And again, this move isn't really about today. It's not about today. It's about the future. What type of nation are we going to leave to our children, to our grandchildren, to our great-grandchildren? What type of nation are we leaving for our young people? That's what this is about. That's what this is about right now. Now, in another exchange, Representative Nadia Velasquez, hopefully I'm pronouncing her name properly, from New York, she tried to pin down Besnett, on the specifics of ongoing trade talks, demanding to know which countries we're close to striking deals with. It's like these Democrats don't understand the first rule of business, or they're pretending not to. You don't show all your cards in the middle of a high-stakes poker game. You don't do that, and you definitely don't do it on live TV for the entire world to see. These people are ridiculous, man. They really are. They really are. I feel like they're doing everything that they can to sabotage us from the inside out, man.
Mr. Chairman, I want to raise a point of order.
Yes, ma'am.
But I don't want the clock to be eating my time.
I'm sorry. Yes,
I would like for the witness to be swearing in before I ask my questions.
the chair doesn't see a need for that. You may ask your question. Your time can start the gentlewoman's time over at 5 minutes.
Secretary Besant, you were on CNBC earlier this week making claims saying we are very close and maybe we will see some deals this week on tariffs. So tell us, tell the American people, tell small businesses and consumers, tell retirees, specifically which countries are you close to striking deals with?
I'm sorry, Congresswoman, but that would not benefit the United States.
No. I'm asking you a question based on the statement that you made on CNBC.
And I am telling you that it would be detrimental to the interest of the United States for me to answer that question.
Why will that be detrimental?
Because as the negotiations may still be in process as we speak, as we are not at the end of the week yet, I am sure that you, through your question, would not want to compromise U.S. negotiations.
Reclaiming my time,
Would you?
Secretary Besson, the president goes into a press conference and claims that there are negotiations going on. And then the next day, there's no negotiations going on. So why would you not answer my question? And that will be considered detrimental to the American people, to the American economy. I do not understand. Despite your claim,
I'm happy to say there are negotiations going on. I'm not going to reveal the details.
No filibuster. No filibuster here.
So how long do you think those negotiations will take before they are concluded?
There are numerous countries, as I have said, if you saw my CNBC interview, which you referenced, that there are 18 important trading partners, and we are moving forward at all deliberate speed with those.
Do you consider these negotiations advanced negotiations?
Some of them are quite advanced.
So,
Okay, that's enough of this crazy person. This is what we have, in Congress right now. These are representatives. This lady, you got Tandor, out of Michigan. People who can't really speak the language. Obviously, English is not their first language. For the life of me, how these people are getting voted in, I don't know. But holy smokes, man! You got to give Scott Best. You got to give it to Scott Besnett, though, man. You got to give it to him. He's playing the long game, and he's not about to let Velasquez grandstanding mess up the Trump administration strategy. Besnett made it crystal clear. Spilling the beans on which countries we're close to striking deals with would be detrimental to the United States because those negotiations are still in play. And he's absolutely right. These people are absolute clowns. Do they not know business? Do they not understand how to negotiate, how this works? Besnett's absolutely right, man. Revealing details now would undermine our negotiating leverage. It would tip off other countries and let them adjust their positions before we can seal a deal. Shout out to True Texter with the $2 super chat. Says someone needs to check her immigration status. You a nut, yo. Oh my gosh, but I just don't understand it, man. She wanted to get this dude sworn in so she can put out all the business. These are the Benedict Arnolds out there, man. These are the people that will tell a foreign nation what our war plan is. You know what I'm saying? And cause all kinds of chaos and havoc. These people are enemies to the country, man. They're enemies. And what's really going on here is it's just a bunch of daggone grandstanding from Democrats like Presley and Velasquez and Maxine Waters. They're doing everything that they can to sabotage Trump's negotiating position. They don't want him to succeed in fixing these trade imbalances because it would prove that his America First agenda works, and they can't stand it. These people are enemies to our nation. Anybody that is going against the current administration's plan to even out the playing field when it comes to trade, anybody that is against that and against us adding some new revenue that doesn't require taxing the citizens into oblivion, anybody that's against, you are an enemy to the country. You are an enemy to the people here in America. Seriously. Now, I do appreciate the way Besnett handled it. He handled it like a pro. I do appreciate it, refusing to take the bait while still confirming that progress is being made. I appreciate that. But anyway, I think Besnett handled himself pretty well. I think he did. Given that, it came loaded with a bunch of gotcha questions and basically, they basically spoke over him the entire time. But he stayed cool. refused to get suckered into the sound bites, and who reminded them that real trade negotiations take months, even years, and revealing every detail mid-bargaining would sabotage U.S. leverage. And here's the bottom line, man. The bottom line on these hearings, and what they've turned into, they've become nothing more than political theater. They're not a forum for real policy discussion. They're just not. Both parties do it. Democrats, Republicans. These aren't like serious conversations. It's just an opportunity to grandstand. They bring in top experts, and then they refuse to let anyone answer, except the questions that they like. It's all a bunch of showmanship and gotchas with zero respect for the process or the American people's right to understand policy. They don't want Americans to understand policy. They would prefer that you keep your head in the sand and you don't ask any questions. They don't want it. There's some real changes need to happen to this process here. What we need is genuine oversight. Let the experts who are invited in, subpoenaed in, let them come in and speak. Let them lay out the data. Let us have real transparency. And when I say us, I'm talking about the American citizens. Let us have real transparency and give us the opportunity to get a full understanding as to what's going on, what's being implemented, or what's being proposed. There should not be a situation where, 5-minute ambushes or endless, reclaiming my time tantrums. That should not be a part of this process. It should not be a part of these hearings. It just shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Oh, man. It upsets me, man. It really does. It bothers. But, this kind of circus act, from the Democrats, it isn't a one-off. It isn't a one-off. It's exactly why they're sitting on the sidelines right now, licking their wounds after the 2024. All this posturing, cutting off answers, turning serious hearings into a stage for their ego trips. And it's no wonder voters are fed up. It's no wonder. It's no wonder voters are fed up. It's no wonder that Americans in general are fed up. These daggone Democrats, man, they're more interested in viral moments than delivering for the American people. And it cost them big time. And speaking of which, we're going to pivot real fast. We're going to pivot to someone who's not afraid to call it like he sees it. We got to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Sometimes I agree. Other times I don't agree with what he has to say. But the one thing that I do appreciate about Stephen A. Smith is whatever he feels on the day, you'll know what he feels on the day. That doesn't mean that it won't change tomorrow. Doesn't mean that it won't change tomorrow. Shout out to my guy, Jeff, from over at It's Not Your Fault, Al-Anon Recovery Channel. He says, with the $11 super chat, says, we used to arrest those that commit treason. These are enemies of the union. You're absolutely right, sir. You're absolutely right. Shout out to Brett Montgomery. He says, Stephen A. Smith kind of suspect. Yeah, like I said, you'll get what he feels today. And in some cases, some people may say, you'll get what he's been told to feel today. But it may change tomorrow. But this particular situation here, I want to talk about this particular situation here because Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN host, he went off about why he's actually glad that the Democrats lost, pointing to their obsession with identity politics and disconnect from the reality as the real reasons that they got smoked at the polls. Sat down with Chris Cuomo recently and laid into the Democrat Party in a way we hadn't heard in a while. Or some people will say that in a way that we hadn't heard before. Let's check out what he had to say. It's a truth bomb you guys don't want to miss. Shout out to my guy, Joseph Orsini, the $4.99 super chat says, can Besnett just come out and ask, are you all stupid? He could, but that means that he would give the media something to talk about for the next, I don't know, week or so. You know, they would tear him up for saying something along those lines.
Or lamenting the state of affairs within the Democratic Party. I'm basically talking about what they were focusing on. They may be doing things on the state and local level and may deserve an abundance of credit for it, but that's not the message that we were receiving. And you know why we weren't receiving that message? Because they didn't think they could sell it to us. They didn't think that that would be good enough. They wanted to make sure, oh, we're going to point to racism. We're going to guilt you into voting for us. We're not going to talk about the things that we're doing positively. We're going to talk about what the other side is doing negatively to engage in fear mongering to help you through fear factor go our way instead of theirs. And it didn't work this time. And to be quite honest with you, even though I might not like some of the things I'm seeing from the Trump administration thus far, the bottom line is I'm glad it didn't work, because I think for the longest time, black Americans have played the role of suckers to the Democratic Party. They've guilted us into voting for them, making us feel as if we're going to be ostracized, creating division within our own communities or what have you to get our vote, instead of saying to us, hey, this is what we will do for you, and it will work better than what they're offering.
I got to rewind that real quick. Hold up. I'm not going to go all the way to the back or to the beginning of it, but hold up.
Work this time. And to be quite honest with you, even though I might not like some of the things I'm seeing from the Trump administration thus far, the bottom line is I'm glad it didn't work, because I think for the longest time, black Americans have played the role of suckers to the Democratic Party. They've guilted us into voting for them, making us feel as if we're going to be ostracized, creating division within our own communities or what have you to get our vote, instead of saying to us, hey, this is what we will do for you, and it will work better than what they're offering.
A broken clock is right twice a day. A broken clock is right twice a day. And with this particular statement right here, he is absolutely right. I'm going to rewind it one more time, and then I'm going to give you my take on this.
Black Americans have played the role of suckers to the Democratic Party. They've guilted us into voting for them, making us feel as if we're going to be ostracized, creating division within our own communities or what have you to get our vote, instead of saying to us, hey, this is what we will do for you, and it will work better than what they're offering.
Now, my question to you all is he wrong? Is he wrong? Malcolm was talking about this. Brother Malcolm X was talking about this in the 60s. Is he wrong? For decades, black Americans have been treated like the Democrat Party's personal ATM, pressured into voting a certain way with guilt trips, dependency on welfare programs, and a narrative that success only comes through government handouts. A narrative that success only comes through government handouts. The Democrat Party has wanted to be black Americans' God. They told them, take your eyes and take your faith off of God and put it in us, because we're the ones that are here to save you. And there's a lot of people that have fallen for it. They've fallen for that trick of the enemy. Meanwhile, they never sell us on the positive changes. They never sell us on the positive changes that they claim to make. If Democrats were really on our side, ask yourself, why is our community still so economically and socially stressed? Black folks been voting for these people almost en masse, dating back to the 60s, definitely the 70s. So for 5 decades, black folks have been voting for these people en masse and have seen or reaped very little benefit. Now let's get into a bit of history real fast, because the traditional story is upside down. When it came to the Civil Rights Act, guess which party stood united? It was the Republicans. It was not the Democrats. They voted overwhelmingly for ending segregation. Over 80% of Republicans in the House and in the Senate supported every civil rights bill in the history of this country. Eisenhower and then Lincoln before him were the presidents that signed a large majority of the Civil Rights Act into law, or civil rights bills into law. These are facts. You can look this up. The longest filibuster in Senate history was led by Democrat senators who refused to budge until enough pressure finally broke them. After emancipation, many Black communities thrived on their own, building schools, bus lines, businesses, farms, even creating millionaires. In the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, Black Americans were outpacing white Americans in many measures of progress. These are facts. You can look it up. But once the white political machines realized we were no longer a captive demographic, they swooped in with policies that made us reliant on government aid, food stamps, welfare, which came with strings attached. Y'all know what the strings were. They reframed success as something only the government could deliver, undermining our own institutions in the process. And then ever since the 60s or so, the Black community's been locked in and in lockstep, voting Democrat in droves for 90% or more in most elections, essentially becoming a captive voting bloc, beholden to the Democrats like they own us. But let's stop and ask the hard questions. Did things actually get better? Sure, there were some wins. But when you look at the bigger picture, inner cities are still crumbling. Unemployment rates for Black Americans are consistently double those of white Americans, and the wealth gap has only widened. The poverty rate for Black families hadn't budged much in the decades, hovering around 20%, according to census data. If Democrats were really delivering, shouldn't we be seeing more progress after 60 years of near unanimous support? Shouldn't we? And I get loyalty. Trust me, I do. But at some point, you got to stop, look around and say, what have you done for me? And what am I being loyal to? Seriously, what's my loyalty actually getting me in return? And Stephen A. Smith hit the nail on the head. The Democrats have been banking on fear and guilt to keep Black voters in line, but they haven't delivered the real change that they promised. Instead, they've pushed policies that have kept Black people dependent, not empowered, handouts over opportunity, rhetoric over results. And meanwhile, they've ignored the things that could actually lift up Black communities, like school choice, job training, or cracking down on crime that's tearing our neighborhoods apart. I mean, it's time for a wake-up call. Loyalty should not be blind. It should be earned. And if the Democrats can't show up with real solutions, not just empty promises, then maybe it's time that we start looking at who's actually fighting for our future. And that's all I got to say about that. But I do appreciate Stephen A. for calling it out. I do appreciate that. I appreciate Stephen A. for calling it out. And since we're on the topics of empty promises, let's talk about another classic move from the left, pushing policies that are either downright detrimental or so pointless that they're laughable. All in the name of identity politics. This story right here, guys, it's crazy. While communities are crying out for real solutions like better schools or safer streets, some leaders are busy playing symbolic games to score woke points, even if it means wasting everyone's time and taxpayer money. Case in point, look at what happened down in Salt Lake City. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but we're going to talk about it right now, right before a new Utah law kicked in to ban unofficial flags in schools and government buildings. The city decided to pull a fast one, adopting their own versions of transgender pride and Juneteenth flags as official city flags. This is happening, man. This is what's going on in your average blue city around the country. These people are ridiculous.
Tomorrow, a new state law goes into effect. It would ban pride flags from public buildings like schools or city halls. But tonight, the Salt Lake City Council approved a workaround, incorporate the pride flag into an official variant of the city flag. Now, it's not just the pride flag either. Flags representing Juneteenth and another for transgender pride will be adorned with Salt Lake's traditional Seago lily design. These flags are meant to bypass the limits. Again, House Bill 77 as they'll be adopted as official city flags. Here's the reason Mayor Aaron Mendenhall gave for the new proposal.
I want each and every resident to look up at any flag that flies at City Hall and be reminded that their community values belonging and acceptance, and that their community values every one of them. Let the Sago Lily send a simple but powerful message. Salt Lake City is here for you. We believe in you, and we love you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So that is a unanimous support.
You heard their vote right there. House Bill 77 sponsor, Representative Trevor Lee, posted on social media responding to the announcement, saying, "Does Salt Lake City really want to play these games? Good luck. We will continue to follow this as it develops."
All right, so move this out the way. So Utah recently became the first state to make it illegal to fly pride flags in public schools, universities, and government buildings. So what did the woke capital do? Salt Lake City's mayor, Aaron Mendenhall, and the city council pulled a fast one. They introduced 3 official city flags, one for general pride, one for trans pride, and a Juneteenth flag. Because the law only bans unofficial flags, making them official city flags means that they can fly them anywhere government flags are allowed. Mendenhall's rationale is that she wants every single resident looking at City Hall to see that Salt Lake City values you and loves you. Translation, we own this place and we'll bend the rules so our propaganda stays flying high. Not to be outdone, Boise, another liberal bubble in a red state, they copied the same gimmick. Idaho's legislature, they passed their own anti-flag law, but Boise's city council quickly declared the pride flag an official city flag. Only one city councilor voted against making the pride flag an official city flag, saying that it'll dump the city into a costly legal battle. And honestly, she may not be wrong, but see it for yourself.
Council vote coming from Lucy Willits, concerned the action will drag the city into a costly legal battle.
And I guess I would ask, to what end? I suspect the legislature will come in and it will slap a huge fine on the city of Boise, and Boiseans will have to pay it. And that will limit what we can spend on things that we have control over. And it will likely end up in court. And like several City Hall decisions, it will cost the taxpayers. And there won't be an opportunity for compromise. And that makes me sad.
Oh, she's right. She is absolutely right. Boise could easily get dragged into a legal quagmire. And it's going to cost the city a fortune in taxpayer dollars to fight a battle that they're likely to lose. The likelihood of them losing the battle is pretty daggone high. Idaho's anti-flag law was clear. Government entities can only display official local, state, or federal flags, and the state's attorney general has already warned cities like Boise to comply. But do these city leaders care? No, they don't. Of course they don't. They'd rather burn through millions in legal fees to flex their woke credentials than actually serve their constituents. It's the same story that we saw down in Salt Lake City. Progressive leaders in blue bubbles ignoring the law and the will of the broader state just to pander to a vocal minority. And for what? What does slapping a pride flag or trans flag or any of these other identity flags on a government building actually accomplish? If you're happy with who you are, if you're secure, in your identity, You don't need city council to fly a flag for you to validate you. True self-acceptance, comes from within. It's not about forcing everyone else to clap for you or to affirm your choices, especially when some of those choices are rooted in delusions that defy biology and reality. This obsession with symbolic gestures isn't about inclusion, it's about control. It's about demanding that everyone else bow to your worldview, even if they disagree. Even if they don't agree with it, they want to force you to bend the knee to them, and using the power of government to enforce that conformity. If you need a flag to feel good about yourself, maybe the problem isn't society, maybe it's you and your own insecurity. And these cities, they love to brag about neutral spaces and all this foolishness, but yet they unilaterally elevate only their preferred symbols. Imagine the outrage, if suddenly, they made, MAGA or, thin blue line flags official. I mean, these people would throw a tantrum, demanding that those banners come down, calling it hate speech and suing the state. But for their own left-wing causes, it's about belonging and acceptance. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. If you're going to let governments choose which viewpoints to display, it should be all or nothing. Pride, MAGA, Confederate, Gadsden, whatever. If you're going to go that route, no special treatment for one side or the other. Either preserve total neutrality, no political flags anywhere on public property, or permit every single one of them. The takeaway is this: the entire debacle underlines a simple truth. Government buildings aren't billboards for partisan messaging. They're for the people, education, public safety, infrastructure. Flying these woke banners is nothing more than a childish virtue signaling at our expense. Simple as that. And these are the same people that if you did, throw out, a MAGA flag or a Trump 2024 flag or a Confederate flag or a Muslim flag or whatever, these are the same people that they'd probably be, they probably protest, outside of the building. These people are ridiculous, man. They really are. They are some insufferable individuals, and they are some of the most least tolerant people in the country. For the people that claim tolerance, they want everybody to just, accept them. They are some of the most least tolerant people in the country. If you haven't done so already, man, make sure you hit that like button for me. I am going to open it up. If anybody would like to call in, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have a question for me, or if there's anything that you'd like to say, anything you'd like to add to anything that we discussed today, I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to open it up. Give me 1 second here and allow folks to call in today. And it looks like I was waiting on something. Let me see. I know President Trump was making some, I think there's like a surprise announcement. Let me see if he's on. If he is, I'm going to add this. Second here. See if we have any takers today. Pin this message to the top. All righty. I was checking to see if Trump was on, but I don't see him. They're still saying that they're waiting to see, waiting for a major announcement to be had, but I don't see it. Not up yet. Looks like we are sitting at 249. Oh, we just crossed 250 likes for the day. Awesome. Yep. So it looks like there is a major trade announcement that is going to happen. I'm going to share it. But in the meantime, if anybody would like to pull up, I'd love to hear from you guys. If there's anybody that would like to pull up. Oh, we got Crystal. Yeah, we got a major trade announcement. I am going to keep this thing on. President Trump, he's not on yet, but in a second. What's up, Crystal? How you doing today?
Hey, how are you, Wise? How are you?
Um,
Listen, thank you for this morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for pulling up this morning. You doing
No
all right?
problem. Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Good. I can't complain. I'm blessed as always.
I
As
like hearing that.
always.
I like hearing that.
Yeah. What do you have for us today?
I think you woke up this morning and you chose violence with those topics.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
With those topics this morning, I think you woke up and you chose violence because you had me in this place losing everything. Starting with
Thank
the
you.
whole hearing with Scott Bessent, that was irritating to me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it feels like a lot of these people do not understand business. They don't understand how to negotiate. And then it makes me wonder, why are y'all even in this place? Why are y'all in these positions? Because you clearly know nothing. And who keeps putting people like Maxine Waters back in office? I don't understand. It's confusing to me.
Unfortunately, Maxine Waters has been in Congress dating back to the early 90s, which is crazy that she's been in that long. She doesn't live in her district, but her district is, if I'm not mistaken, if it's not the poorest district in California, it's one of the poorest districts in California. And I don't even think the people in her district really vote. They get enough people to vote her in. And typically the last couple of times she's ran unopposed. So no one's even running against her out there. So
that is so sad.
It's sad, man. It's sad. Yeah.
It's sad just watching it. And that, I guess that transitions me into even the thing with Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if you caught him with Officer Tatum, his show with Officer Tatum. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I did a reaction to it. Yeah, that video did pretty good. It almost, I mean, I guess people would consider it viral, but it's like over 150,000 views right now. I did it when it first happened. I was like, oh snaps, Tatum and daggone Stephen A. I had to do it, so I did a reaction to it the day that it came out, and it's doing pretty well. So absolutely, I had a chance.
So I think so after you saw that, do you think he kind of learned something? Because I know you said a clock can be right, even a broken clock can be right twice a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you
Yeah.
think he learned something?
I think he may have learned something doing a reaction to it when Tatum was educating him. The look on Stephen A's face, the look he made was, I'd never heard this before. He had that look like he had just been told something that he had never heard before in his life. When he started talking about, civil rights bills and how Republicans, voted for every last one of them en masse, I don't think he had ever heard that before. So maybe after the fact, he got off and went and looked it up for himself and was like, well, dang, this dude taught me something today. And you know what's crazy that happened? I've talked to a number of Black people and they didn't know that. And I would tell them, I was like, Republicans voted for every civil rights bill that's ever been passed en masse. En masse.
Yep.
And they're like, what are you talking about? This didn't happen. I was like, you can look it up. It's all public information. That's the thing. All of this stuff is public. People think that we just pull stuff out of the air. No, we go and do the research. We go look it up, and you can go see the voter rolls, and you can see who voted for what, for everything, for every bill that's ever been passed in this country. You can go look. It's all public information. Just take the time to go look it up for yourself. That's all.
That's all they need to do. But I think we're so lazy. And like you said, they made the Democratic Party their idol. So they don't even bother to say, let me, the one thing I always say, walking with Christ, we all learn, test the spirit. You just can't take what everybody says. You have to go back and test the spirit. And I don't think our people who are still stuck in the Democratic Party, they don't test anything. They don't go and do any research. They don't try and learn anything. In their mindset, listen, if this is what Maxine Waters says, if this is what Ayanna Pressley says, if this is what Jasmine Crockett says, then it must be right. And I'm like, please go educate yourself. I have these conversations all the time. I was on TikTok the other night having discussions with people who are supposed to be older than me. They're supposed to have wisdom. And half the things they were saying, I'm like, that is not correct. What you're saying is incorrect. And I'm like, they're saying Trump is trying to erase us, the Black people. And as a young Black sister, you're not learning anything. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish you guys would stop and use your brain. God gave us wisdom for a reason. And somehow or the other, y'all just put that aside and just let these people think for you. And what's wrong with our people, what they don't realize is the Democratic Party is just about done with us. Exactly what Officer Tatum said, it's very true, because that is why they're fighting so hard for the illegal immigrants, because they want them to now replace our vote. And people don't realize that.
Yeah. Well, we've served their purpose. We've served our purpose of usefulness for them at this point, and they know it. The reality of it is this. You had 90+% of Black women vote for Kamala Harris, and she still got whipped. Not only did she lose the electoral, but she also lost the popular vote. So what that is telling Democrats is that, hey, even with them, we can't win. So they don't have a choice but to pivot. They don't have a choice. And what they have also are starting to realize is that Black men, because Black men only voted 80% for Kamala, 20% of Black men actually supported President Trump. And if you actually go and talk to people now, I would think if the vote was today, those numbers would be a lot higher in reference, for voting Trump. Black women and Black men, because there are a lot of people that are like, wait, hold up. I didn't know. I didn't know. You had a lot of people that didn't know. And the word doesn't lie. When it says that, my people perish for lack of knowledge, you look at the Black community in America, we're perishing. A lot of it has to do with our lack of knowledge. And the reality of it is this. Prior to the 60s and the ramping up of the civil rights movement, prior to that, our trust and our faith was in God. We were some of the most God-fearing people in the country. And our faith and our trust was in God. And during that time frame, our families were intact. Kids were less likely to be born out of wedlock. And the wealth gap was shrinking. It was shrinking. As soon as we took our eyes off God and we started looking to the Democrat Party to save us, things just got haywire. And look at where we are today. Everywhere that these people are in charge of, they have the worst school systems. These are some of the most dangerous places in the country for Black folks and for people in general. But these are some of the most dangerous places. You name the city, if it's Democrat led, it is a very dangerous place if you are a Black person, especially if you are a Black man. And it ain't got a whole lot to do with the police. They want to tell you the police. It's not the police. I grew up, you know what I'm saying? And you know this, we talked about this last week, but being in Georgia, and being one of those kids that grew up around, 285.
Yes.
I've seen people, hey, we know what it looks like. The one difference for us is that you get a chance to see it and you get to make a choice. Unlike some other cities out there. There's only two cities like this in the country. It's Atlanta and it's the DC area. Those are the only two places. These are also the two places where you got the wealthiest Black people. But people, you get to make a choice. You want to thug and bug, or you want to do the right thing. You get to make a choice.
Yes.
But when you go and you look at Fulton County, the worst freaking county jail, the worst schools, the worst school district in the state is right there. And it's been Democrat led for decades, years. If it wasn't for Republican governorship, the state of Georgia would be in trouble right now.
Oh, 100%.
if it wasn't for the fact that the rest of the state, you know what I'm saying, has been Republican. If it wasn't for that, the city of Atlanta, they're actually having to pass things that the city wouldn't pass on its own. But the city benefits. You know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree with you. 100% agree.
hey, the Republican governorship has been saving the state and saving the city from itself. Because if they were left to their own devices, ain't no telling what Atlanta would be right now. Seriously.
It would look like what Buckhead turned into, because that's where I live now. And Buckhead, when I first moved here, was one thing, and now it is. I'm like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here because I watched it. I've been here 10 years now, and I've watched the transition. And I'm like, there are people within Buckhead who want to annex. They want to remove themselves. They're sick of it, and they're like, we don't want to
They
be.
won't let
under
them do
this
it.
rule. They won't let them do it.
They won't let them do it.
No, they keep telling them.
You know,
it's
they've been talking about
racism.
that they've been talking about it for years, that Buckhead wanted to secede from Atlanta. They will not let them do it.
Nope. They keep telling them. You will see people come up. They're just being racist, and I'm like, this is not racism. Do you understand what is happening in this area? This is not racism. Y'all are not taking care of this place, and we want to be done with it. We want to be like Brookhaven. That's what we want to be like. Be like Brookhaven. But I just keep watching and seeing how our people just, like you said, perish because of lack of knowledge, and the knowledge is right there. It's right there. And they just don't want to take it. That's why I'm very proud to say I'm part of the 8% of Black women that said, I am not walking in this craziness anymore. I saw a girl have a hat that says I'm an 8%er. I was like, hold on, I need to go get a hat that says I'm an 8%er.
Hey, I like that.
I am proud to say I'm an 8%er because this
like
is ridiculous. It is absolutely.
I got a question. I got a question for you. If someone on that side of things, on the other side, was to come to you and ask you, what do you think the number one issue, or what's the number one solution for Black Americans today in 2025? What would you tell them?
They need to find God. They need to get back to God. Honestly, all of the darkness that they find themselves in, all of these fake, they're making their Blackness God. They're making culture God. They're making weird religions God. They're doing all of that. And exactly what you said, when we were all aligned with God, oh my goodness, I think that was when we were thriving. We were thriving. And the minute we took our eyes off, that became a problem. When we started thinking about everything about just, as I would say, the Blackness, everything, the Blackness. The fact that I hear a lot of preachers, I don't know if you've ever heard that preacher, Talbert Swan. Have you ever heard him?
Name sounds familiar. I'm almost for sure I've seen his face. I may not actually
I feel
know
like
his
he's
name.
in your area. I feel like he's in his entire sermon is about Blackness. There's never anything about Christ. And I'm like, and people sit in the church and listen to this. I'm like, this is why we are where we are. We walk around with the victim mentality. We walk around with we can't do anything. And as I always say, if I'm going to say racism is crushing me, then I don't believe in God. Then I feel like racism is bigger than God. And that's why people are stuck in that position. Black America needs to take that off, put on their eyes on God and focus. Stop walking around with the victim mentality, the woe is me. They need to stop. They need to get out of this place of unforgiveness. I think that's the biggest generational curse, actually. When we talk about generational curses, I think it's unforgiveness. And I say unforgiveness because things that have nothing to do, when we keep talking about slavery and all the oppression and all these other things, they keep bringing that from back then all the way forward. Not saying that racism doesn't exist, but Black people act like they're not racist too. Jasmine Crockett just sat at a college graduation and told the people take a chair and hit white people with. Like, why would you tell college graduates that? I don't understand why. You are supposed to be someone that people are looking up to. You're representing a district. This is your job, and you're telling people that, like, this is the problem. This is the problem. And that's why I said at this point, we need to get away from this bitterness, this unforgiveness, this ugliness, and start walking in God's light, in healing, and understanding that anything that we want to do, we can do. Stop acting like we are stuck in the places that we are stuck in.
I would agree with that. You get no argument from me there. Look to God first, and everything else. Once we do that and start walking in His order, we'd actually solve a lot of the other issues that are there. But I do appreciate that. I got a couple other people I want to pull up, but thank you, Crystal. Appreciate you pulling up this morning.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Have a good
All
one.
righty.
Enjoy
Take care.
golfing.
God bless. Thank
You
you.
too.
I'll plan to it. All right. Let me get my guy, Playboy Billy. What up, Playboy Billy? I love it. I
You
told you we
finally
made.
got your wish
Hey.
there, buddy. There it
What's going
is.
on with you, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. You, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Blessed as always.
Yep.
It's nothing but God, man. He gives me the opportunity to do this on a day-to-day basis. It is a blessing. It really is, man. But what do you
Well,
have
and
for us
that's
today,
what people
Playboy
don't.
Billy?
Yeah. Well, people don't understand that just teaching people to open their eyes is such a blessing because not everybody gets to. So
Absolutely.
it's like, and the other thing I want to say, God don't see color. God don't see black. God don't see white. God don't see brown. God sees our souls. He don't see color. And until people start
I would agree with
realizing
that.
that, we're going to go down the same old trashy road that we're on today. And that's unfortunate. So, yeah. That was my rant for you.
I hear that. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you pulling up and rocking with me. Now, I want to see your name changed in the on YouTube there. If you know how to do it, I want to see the name change. Playboy Billy Grimsworth. I like that. You've been named.
I've been tagged, brother, and you tagged me. If I get in trouble for that name, I'm blaming you, brother.
I'll take full responsibility.
I love it. Yeah, when you first said that, I was like, ooh, that's almost as good as my smoking 420 that they took away from me.
Oh my goodness.
You're too much. I love your show though, brother. You do a great job.
Thank you.
You nail it. You keep it clean. And that's, very highly respectable nowadays because not many people keep their shows clean. So I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and thank you very much. I try not to bring a lot of foolishness into the show. I want to be truthful, but I want this to be wrapped around the word and looking at what's going on in our country through a biblical lens. And I got my inspiration that I got even doing the show. It comes from Jason Whitlock. I know he moved more towards back to sports, which is right in his alley. But I really appreciated, when he would bring, the pastors on and things of that nature. This was a couple of years back when he first started Fearless. And I really liked that approach. And then he kind of pivoted away from it. And here I am, kind of feel like I'm taking that torch and kind of continuing to go, in that route, man. But I definitely.
Well, and you're the perfect person to carry on the torch. I mean, you do a great show. So I appreciate it. And I love watching it. It's always a good time with you, Wes.
I appreciate that, man.
All
right. Well, I got a couple other folks to pull up. Other folks to pull up, but I do appreciate you supporting the channel. Appreciate you rocking with me on a day-to-day basis, man. I appreciate that, man. Playboy,
not a problem, brother.
Hey,
enjoy hanging.
It's good to get a chance to put a face, with the name. I see you in the chat all the time, but it's good to get a face, with that. So that's awesome, man.
Well, I love hanging with you, brother. So I'll be here every day till the day I die.
I hear that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. God bless you. Thank
Peace
you, man.
out,
Take care.
boys.
Peace. All right. Shout out to Playboy Billy Grimsworth, man. I like that, man. I like that. He's been tagged now. He's got a new name. Let me bring up the sister Renata. Hey, Renata, how you doing today?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Good morning.
Hey,
I'm
good
kind
morning
of
to you.
nervous.
Let us know where you where you tuning in from.
I tune from several places. I also be on P. Harris. And I do it on my TV. I also do it on my TV. Like I do a hotspot from my TV, but I can't do a text there.
Gotcha.
But
Understood.
I try to watch the show whenever I can. Sometimes I'm busy in the mornings, or I'll miss you, or I'm late, so you'll see that. But I just wanted to say that the things you said today were totally on point. Totally. A lot of things you say are very on point. I really like listening to your show. You seem to be pretty educated and know what you're saying. And I learned some things from you also. But I
Oh,
feel
thank you.
that a lot of people, they don't know their history. Like we have a lot of people. I talk to people, and some people just do not know their history. They make comments. Even the people you see that be against Trump, because I'm for Trump, they just don't have no clue of what happens in history sometimes when you speak to people. And also I wanted to say that I used to be a Democrat. Like I was like because I used to live in New Jersey. Like I'm from New York, New Jersey. So when I was in New Jersey, I was a Democrat. I always voted Democrat. So one day, yeah, I did vote for Reagan. I voted for Reagan. But when I came here to Pennsylvania, because I live in Pennsylvania now, I was kind of forced to be a Republican because they was having an election. And in Pennsylvania, you can only vote the party that you're in. But in New Jersey, I don't remember. In New Jersey, we can vote either way. So I
Okay.
became a Republican while I was here in New Jersey. And I just vote how I want to vote. But I have a flag. I have an American flag, right, by my property. And I put my flag out on my mailbox. You know, somebody stole my flag. And I live around a few people, they be talking about Trump all the time. And then they complain about the people that voted for him are stupid. I'm pretty sure they know that I voted for Trump, but they never come to me and say anything because
Of
I
course
guess they
not.
don't want to argue with me. But it's just so funny. Like they actually took my flag. I was like, really? But you know, a lot of things you say are very true, and I like to listen to your show. Also, I feel that we need to get more religion in the schools. Really, our children and young people, they really need to have God in their life because when I hear about all of this, like these different polys and the sex and all that, that's one thing. And then about some people, they're so sensitive, like you can't say anything to them. And my granddaughter's like this, like they so sensitive. I had to always tell her, don't wear your feelings on your sleeve. Like, don't just put your feelings there. Like you gotta be able to deal with things honesty. Like they don't like to hear the honesty. Even sometimes my daughter gets like that. And when we were young, we teased each other and we told the truth and we accepted and it wasn't a big deal. But in today's time, you can't even do that. People get so offended. And
Yeah,
I
you're
think the
right.
last
People
thing I want
are easily offended, and
yes,
I,
yes.
for the life of me, I don't even understand why people have gotten so soft. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of soft people out there, man. It's just really unfortunate. It really is. But you said you had one more.
And I
You had one
also
other thing.
yeah. Oh, in reference to this also the sexuality. Sometimes I feel that the sexuality with especially with this gay stuff. Sometimes I feel it's because you know a lot of in our community have single parents and without a strong father in the house, because a lot of some fathers be in jail. I think that's kind of made a lot of this homosexuality, especially like with the guys. I don't know if it's true, but I feel that might be part of it. Um, and the other last point I wanted to make. Oh God, what's my last point I wanted to make? Oh, I forgot my last point because I had one more thing to say, but I'll tell you about the school. I can't remember. I can't remember it. But I listen to your show all the time, and sometimes I write text messages that are very long. But I'm glad I could call in and just give my viewpoint on things. But
That's awesome.
you know, you really have a lot of good things to say, and you know,
Well, I
I'm proud
appreciate
to
that,
see a young
and thank
man
you.
saying a lot of things. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure you are, I mean, you're part of that 8%, obviously. Because a lot of times, you know, I'm sure there's probably a judgment passed until they ask you a question and they probably look at you
yeah,
like, look at that. You see a black woman, you almost immediately assume, oh, this is some Trump
mhm.
support, or I'm sorry, some, you know, liberal
Democrat.
Kamala Harris or Democrat that's out here and the reality of it is a lot of the platform that they support, most of y'all don't support. But
Hmm.
they've been brainwashed to believe that these people have your best interests at heart, and they don't.
They don't.
And
They
they
don't.
don't.
That's what people say. Oh, they did this. I said they haven't really done. All they do was keep you like wanting to like you a handout from them. If you want
Mm-hmm.
anything, and then when you do get assistance, you got to give all your information just to get some help. Whereas with the Republican, they allow you to be independent, start your own business, you know. And to be honest, every time Republican was in office, I always made more money. So when Democrats in
Yeah.
office, I didn't make that much money. So even
Mm-hmm.
now, and I'm on
Well,
disability, and I'm still doing better than when the Democrats in office. So that's
yeah.
my
Well, I mean, we got
my
a chance
thing.
to see it these past 4 years. We went
Hmm.
from 4 years of Trump in office, and everybody was making good money hand over fist. People were able to stack, people were able to invest. In these
Yep.
previous 4 years, people were taking money out their 401ks. People were, whatever, if they did have a savings account, depleted. If they had a trading account, depleted. People lost a lot of money. And then they got to a point to where, okay, they ran out of the excess money that they had, and they start leaning on credit cards. And
Yeah.
now we have credit card bills that are just crazy. They through the roof right now
Yeah.
because more people have been using credit cards to survive. I mean, it's sad,
Hmm.
man. It's
It
really, really
is.
sad. And it's just unfortunate because the recession actually hit, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 2021. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to say that we are
Right
in a
after the
recession. We
COVID.
had right after that. And we had two quarters of negative GDP growth. We actually had three, and there had been layoffs like crazy dating back to
Yeah.
21. Now, I work corporate America before getting into this space, and I'm a firm believer. God, he works in mysterious ways, man. You just will
Yes, he
never
does.
know what he will do for you. You just never know because you might think your world is in and not realizing that another door has been opened up for you. You just don't even know, but you got to keep faith. And the thing that
Yes.
Crystal had mentioned earlier is that, a lot of us, man, we've taken, our eyes off of God. We've taken our faith
Yeah.
away from him, and we've put our faith
Yes.
in man,
And people.
mainly the
Yep.
Democrat Party. And they have failed us in every shape, way, form, or fashion.
Yep.
They failed us. And the reality of it is that, the number one thing that we should be doing is keeping our faith in God, and
Yes.
leaning on him and putting our
To
trust and
guide
our
you.
faith in him to see us through, to guide us through. And
Yes.
when that happens, good things will happen for you. But we've taken,
Yes.
a lot of us, have decided to forsake those teachings and go with what the Democrat Party says is best for you. And what we do know is what they say is best is a path to hell. And my guy
It
Vince
is.
Everett
They're not
Ellis said,
religious
he
at
tell you,
all.
will you go to hell for me? That's
Hmm.
their platform. Their
Yeah.
platform will send you to hell.
Yep.
And not only
And
just,
I also
hell
feel
in the
that.
afterlife, but on earth.
Yeah. And I feel that, they try so hard to kill Trump and stop him. In some way he must have God's hand on him to make it do all the stuff they put him through. He's here for
Yeah.
a reason. I really feel that he's here for a reason, you know. And I hope things get better. Like people talk about the tariffs. Yes, I tell everybody, yes, things might be hard at first, but it will be better in the end. There's some
Mm-hmm.
suffering before, the good stuff come, but you got to do some suffering. And it is not that much. And like the people's complaining about the tariffs, get American made things. Just get American
Mm-hmm.
made. And you won't have to worry about
Absolutely.
the high tariffs. That's the whole point. Buy USA, not these foreign things. Buy USA. Instead of
I agree
complaining,
with that.
oh, it's too high, it's too high. If you get USA, you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
So that's,
that is true. That is true.
it
Well,
is.
thank you,
It's
Renata. I
so true.
appreciate you pulling up and appreciate you supporting the
Thank you for
channel. I
having
definitely,
me.
definitely appreciate that for sure. And I
Yes, we have
definitely
to get
appreciate you
this
supporting
word
what we got
out
going
there
on.
to more people of color. They need to know. Some way we have to get the word out there. I try to tell my friends it's okay to disagree, but don't be to the point where you're gonna argue. We can
Mm-hmm.
disagree, but hear each other out. So
Absolutely. I think civil discourse is important. That
yes.
conversation that Stephen A. had with Officer Tatum. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it.
I
But
didn't see it. I'm gonna have to look at it.
it was a good conversation. I did a reaction to it the day it came out. So if you look at my channel, it's on there.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna look at. I look at
it
his
was
channel
a
sometimes too.
it was a good conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. And those are the kind of conversations I think that need to be had, because a lot of us, and I don't say this to be to denigrate or to be mean, but a lot of folks just don't know. They're just ignorant, and they
Yeah.
just, they just do not know, and they need to be taught the
Yes.
truth.
They need to teach them in
And
school, and they're not teaching the kids anything in school. They don't
oh,
like how you don't know U.S. history.
oh man,
They
yeah.
they don't
Well, I
know
think some
nothing
of it
about
does
U.S.
need to be
history.
taught. Some of it needs to be taught at schools. Some of it needs to be
Yes.
taught at home.
At home.
Because I mean, the reality of it is we can't depend on public school to 100% educate our children.
That's true.
Public schools are failing us right now. They're failing us.
Yes.
They're pushing more of an agenda than actually educating the kids. And that's why you have so many people graduating high school that they don't know anything. They don't know anything.
Yeah, so a person graduated here in Pennsylvania. She said she couldn't read or write and she have a diploma. I don't understand that. In New Jersey,
Makes
they
no
require you to
sense.
take a high school test before you graduate. But here, the girl, she says she graduated and have a diploma and can't read or write. Can you believe that? That's like crazy.
That's awful.
That's crazy.
That is awful.
Yes. Yes. But that's what happened. So
Yeah.
But I guess I gotta
Yeah.
fight the fight for my granddaughter. Because I
Yeah.
fought it for my daughter. Now I gotta fight again for my grandkids.
Absolutely. Well, I've been saying that for a while. The fight today isn't about us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm a little younger than you are, but I mean, it's really not about us. It's really
No,
about the
I
future of
think
this
I'm
country.
older than you.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I'm a little younger than you are.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But the fight isn't really about us. It's about what type of nation are we leaving our children, our grandchildren, our
Yes.
great grandchildren?
Yes.
What type
Yes.
of nation do we plan to leave them? And if
Yes.
people actually looked at things in that way, we would be so much better off.
Yes, yes, yes. People gotta care. You gotta care. They don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you gotta have caring.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm
Well, I appreciate you, Renata. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, you're
You have
welcome.
a great
Take care.
day. Stay
Thank
blessed.
you. You do the same. Thank you. All right, man. Awesome. Shout out to Renata for pulling up this morning. Shout out to my guy, Gerard Caswell, gifting an ARP family membership. God bless you, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you again for the $3 super chat or super sticker, more or less, Gerard. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, man. And I appreciate everybody that pulled up today. Shout out to Playboy Billy Grimsworth. Thank you for pulling up, then. Awesome. Shout out to Crystal. Appreciate you pulling up as well. We have 296 likes, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get to 300. If we got to get to 300. We right there. We 4 away. Shout out to the Blues, Brett Montgomery, FRK9, Coaster, T.A. Caskey, B, Renee Suzanne. Shout out to the Blues, man. Keeping things peaceful in the chat, man. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, man. Like I said, there will not be a live show tomorrow. We'll crank this thing back up Monday morning, Lord willing. Shout out to Playboy Billy Grimsworth joining the ARP family. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that, man. But like I said, no morning show tomorrow. We'll be back at this thing, Lord willing, Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We might be a little late. But it will happen for sure. In the morning, we might be a little late. Getting things kicked off, just depending on what time I get back here in the a.m. And I'll be rushing and we'll get here. We'll get things. I'll work on the show on Sunday, but we'll get things kicked off, ready to go. But hey, we're going to get the weekend started a little early. It is Friday Eve. For some of you guys, it is Friday. For me, we're going to get the weekend started, man. I'm definitely looking forward to some golf over the weekend. Definitely looking forward to that. But I do appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys supporting. Appreciate you guys pulling up this morning. As always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. It's crazy out here in these streets. Thank you very much, man. We did hit 300 likes today, so I definitely appreciate that. Share the stream with some folks, man. Let people know that we do this Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come join one of the livest live streams, one of the livest chats, some of the nicest people, in the chats, in all of YouTube, man. I definitely appreciate you guys, man. God bless you all. Stay prayed up. It's crazy out here, man. We'll catch up with you all. Y'all take care. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.